many players were enjoying the current meta, some players felt that certain decks were simply too powerful. We just had a plethora of announcements to Standard announced for May 18th, and in this video we'll break down the projected meta impact of each of them. Make sure to subscribe to the channel and turn notifications on to stay up to date with all of our future Hearthstone content. Without further ado, let's begin. The change of Aldor Attendant from a 2-mana 2/3 to a 1-mana 1/3 has the potential to be one of the most impactful of all of these changes. Not only is a 1-mana 1/3 a better statted body for its cost, it also makes the card much more flexible, which is sorely needed in an awkwardly curved deck like Libram Paladin. Additionally, it is a very nice upside that this change gives Paladin archetypes a solid proactive 1-drop that they were lacking. If you are playing a deck where Torrent's effect is usually active, this operates as essentially a buff from 2 mana to 1 mana, thereby doubling the efficiency of the card. Spell-heavy shamans didn't even play Torrent in the past, as it was only good when it hit huge minions, but that is likely to change now, as it is great tempo even when just removing a 3 or 4 drop. In a vacuum, Shattered Rumbler was already a pretty powerful card, but don't expect one attack to suddenly vault it to the top of the meta. As of now, a conditional, small, 5-mana AoE is not what any class is looking for, especially not one with access to Hagatha's Scheme and Earthquake. It would take the appearance of a whole new shaman archetype for Shattered Rumbler to get a chance to shine. The biggest of the 3 shaman buffs is the one to the Lurker Below. This card's impact can be a big swing turn in the right situation in its old form, and now with 2 extra health to prevent it from dying to Wrath, or a buffed warrior weapon, or something of that sort, it can win games on the spot in the same way a card like Rottnest Drake can from time to time. Overall, these 3 shaman buffs are probably not enough to push shaman back into the meta, but if they are, then the Lurker Below should be core in all but the most aggressive builds. The nerf of Priestess of Fury from a 6/7 to a 6/5 is a little bit of a strange one, seeing as Demon Hunter lists have mostly moved away from even running priestesses in the past week or two. However, in the right situation, Priestess of Fury is a broken card, and since many of the nerfs are aimed at slowing the meta down a little bit, it's possible that this nerf is a correct prediction of Priestess's post-nerf power level. Crimson Sigil Runner has been one of the single most overpowered cards in Hearthstone since its release with Ashes of Outland, and frankly, it was a bit surprising when it managed to dodge the first 2 sets of nerfs. Even as a 1/1, the card is still relatively playable. It will continue to be core in OTK Demon Hunter, and will probably still find its way into Tempo Demon Hunter as well. Overall, the power level of Demon Hunter has been reeled in a little bit, but it will most likely still be a meta deck. Shadowjeweler Hanar has been one of the community's most complained about cards this past week, and it shouldn't be surprising at all that it is being toned down to a 1/4. Similar to another 1/5 to 1/4 change, Evil Miscreant, Hanar being nerfed doesn't make it a bad card, and it will continue to be run in any rogue deck which runs secrets. Another card which received a serious hit but still remains strong is Blackjack Stunner. The issue with both of these secret synergy cards being nerfed at the same time is that there are already multiple other builds of Tempo Rogue which were close to secret Tempo Rogue in power level. So with the power level of the payoff cards reduced, it will likely no longer be worth running the secret package as a whole. The strength of Scavenger's Ingenuity was underlined by the way in which people were running one of the worst cards in Standard, Stone Tusk Boar, and even that was becoming an overstated charge minion. With the buff reduced from 3/3 to 2/2, it is likely that Scavenger's Ingenuity will stop finding its way into every single hunter archetype and will be saved for decks which really need to draw a specific beast. It is worth noting that this card still synergizes very well with Zixor, Apex Predator, and that gives it a chance to stay in Highlander Hunter at least. The next nerf to discuss is a very necessary preemptive change to Imprisoned Scrap Imp. Scrap Imp is already one of the most powerful cards in the game, and in a slower meta where there are less decks which can punish Zoo's weaker turns 1 through 3, Zoo could have easily been the best deck by far. Even now, with the health buff that Imprisoned Scrap Imp provides nerfed, it is a realistic prediction to say that Zoo will prey upon the weakened meta and become a tier 1 deck. In the tamest of all the nerfs, Bloodboil Brute has been changed from a 6/8 to a 5/8. Not only is the subtraction of 1 attack not the hugest deal overall on a severely overstated minion, but also the reduction in attack is far less impactful than a reduction in health would have been. With Bloodboil Brute coming coming down ahead of curve on turns 4 or 5 very often, it is actually quite rare for its desired target to have more than 5 health anyway. Additionally, Bloodboil Brute ends up taking more trades where it overkills minions than almost any other card in Hearthstone, since oftentimes you have to make awkward trades to damage minions in order to play it in the first place, therefore softening the opponent's minions up before you end up overkilling them anyways. Expect this card to be essentially just as strong as before. The last nerf to cover in this video is quite the impactful one, with Bloodsworn Mercenary being changed to a 2/2. While the power spikes and lethal combos that it enables are the primary selling points of Bloodsworn Mercenary, it has always been a nice upside that it is also fairly statted when played by itself or on a mediocre minion. This change, while keeping Bloodsworn Mercenary as a playable card, does shift it into being a pure combo card that is being played almost solely for its battle cry. Tempo Warrior should still be a solid deck, but the 2 changes to it do a decent job of keeping it in line for now. That brings us to the end of our first analysis of the new balance patch. We hope you are as intrigued as us to see how the new meta develops, and we'd like to remind you to like the video, subscribe to the channel, and ring the notification bell to stay up to date with a variety of strategy content. Thanks for watching!